So we're going to start our practice today by either laying on our backs, if that feels more comfortable, or sitting, grounding our hips and sitting in a position that feels comfortable for us. We're going to place one hand on our heart, it doesn't matter which hand, and one hand on our abdomen. And in yoga, pranayama breathing is breathing in through our nose and then exhaling and focusing on the exhale, focusing on just that long breath moving out. Through our practice, when we focus on our breathing, we can become aware of when we move through more of a challenging part of our practice that our breath might become short. And without judgment, we just bring that back to a more fluid flow of inhaling deep through our nose and exhaling deep through our nose. And the more we practice these things on our mat, is the more we can and bring them off of our mat. So let's just continue breathing in through our nose and exhaling deep and long out through our nose. When we move through our practice, when we invite positive new energy into our bodies, and we allow ourselves to relieve ourselves of stress and anxieties, the more we can also just stay in the present moment. So as we continue to breathe right here and right now, let's invite new clean energy into our bodies. By softening our shoulders and exhaling deeply, we are allowing ourselves to just relieve ourselves of stress. And let's set our intention for our yoga practice today. What do we want to get out of being on our mats? Maybe it's peace, or love, or kindness, or strength, or flexibility, whatever it is. We breathe that in through our nose. We invite that into our body. We tell ourselves that that's what we are today. And we breathe it to our heart center. In yoga, there's no right or wrong way. We take care of ourselves here today. We try and let go of judgments of ourselves and competition and expectations. Whatever we're bringing to the mat, that's what we are today. So we just find our breath We try to stay in the present moment, and we do what feels right for us. Let's take a few big, more deep breaths in through our nose, feeling that positive energy, and just exhaling deeply. When it feels right, let's bring our hands down to our mat. So if we're laying down, we just come back up to a position where we're sitting. With our right hand, we're going to ground our right hand. We're going to reach over with our left. Inhale, reaching back up, grounding our left hand and reaching overhead with our right. So we stay with our movement and we stay with our breath. We try and match our movements with our breath. And we go at our own flow. When we feel ourselves shorten our breath, we just bring it back to long and strong breaths, softening our bodies as we exhale. And when it feels right for us, let's reach our arms straight out to each side, lifting our palms so our palms are facing our ceilings. And I invite us to take a few breaths of feeling our head from the top of our head all the way down our spine to our grounded hips. Let's release our arms down. We're going to ground both hands onto our mat by starfishing our fingers, widening our fingers, and we're going to come up onto our knees. Once we feel and ground our knees and feel and ground our hands, let's go right up into cow. So we feel our spine bend up, our head pulls down, our tailbone pulls down. And when it feels right for us, we arch our spine down, coming into cow and pulling our heads up. And let's do this with our own flow, finding the rhythm in our own bodies that feels right. And we stay with our breath, and we stay with our movement. We allow our heads to just fall towards our mat in scared cat. And as we fall into crow or to cow, we allow our belly buttons to just pull down to our mats. We just feel and notice our spine. Softening and letting go as we exhale. When it feels right for us, we're going to come into side plank. So we ground our right hand, we ground our right knee, and we can pull our left foot to the back part of our mat.
We really can, as a country, survive.
And we reach our left arm up to the ceiling, opening our heart center, feeling alive in the middle, holding here and just finding our breath. Inhaling deep through our nose and exhaling long and softening our bodies. If we can stack our right foot right underneath our left. When it feels right, let's bring our left hand back to our mat. We're going to ground both of our toes and push our hips up into downward dog. Let's feel that pull of our heels, allowing our heads to just fall where they want to fall. And we find our breath here, inhaling deep through our nose and exhaling by just softening and letting go. And when it feels right for us, we're going to move our way either into plank and hold here, or else we can arch ourselves down, pulling our heads up towards the ceiling into upward dog. I'm going to hold in plank just because it doesn't feel right for my 8-month pregnant belly to hold long into upward dog. When it feels right, let's move our bodies back to downward dog. And we're going to go from downward dog to either plank or upward dog with our own flow. So we match our breath with our movement. And we just stay fluid and strong, feeling and noticing our body, feeling and noticing our breath. And we try and just slow our minds down, slow our bodies down. feels right for us, let's move into plank, side plank on our left side. So we ground our left hand, we ground our left knee, we reach our right leg back, our left arm reaches up to the ceilings. We open our heart centers. If we can stack our feet and hold our left foot underneath our right. And we just find our breath here. Find our internal peace here. And let's bring all fours back to our mats. We'll feel and notice our hands. Feel and notice our knees. And let's curl our toes under. And just push our hips back to downward dog. Let's step our right foot to the front of our mat. So both of our feet are pointed to the edge of our mat. And we're gonna ground one hand, reaching up and back with the other into a spinal twist. And we just breathe deep here, inhaling through our nose and exhaling by softening our bodies and letting go. And let's bring both hands to our mats or the floor. And let's just release our heads down in a forward fold, feeling our hips pulling up towards our ceilings and allowing our heads to just fall and go where they want to go. And let's ground our other hand, reaching back and up, the hand that we haven't reached up with yet. We reach our fingers up towards our ceilings. We can either drop our head and let it go where it wants to go, or we can do a full twist and look up at our fingers. It's whatever feels right for us. Let's bring both hands back to our floor or the mat. We're gonna bend our knees and we're gonna use our legs to just push ourselves up into a wide leg squat. Let's just feel our legs here. Then we're gonna reach our hands straight up as we straighten our legs. Our hands come up in front of our head. And as we exhale, we're going to exhale back down by bringing our thumbs back to our heart center, bending our knees, feeling the strength in our legs. And then inhale, straightening our legs, reaching our hands up over our heads. And with our own flow, our own asana, we move back to a deep squat, bringing our thumbs right to our heart centers. If going into a deep squat doesn't feel right for our body, then we just go into a slight squat. We do what feels right for us today. And as we stand up tall, reaching our hands up over our head, let's start to open our heart centers by bringing our shoulder blades back and down behind us. And when it feels right for us, we'll just stand tall, bringing our arms down by our sides. And we'll step our feet so they're shoulder and hip width apart. And let's spend a few big pranayama breaths, breathing in through our nose and growing roots as we ground our feet into our mats, into our floor, back into the universe. As we just slow our thoughts down, we slow our bodies down. And let's relax our face, relaxing our shoulders, relaxing our knees, and let's reach our hands up towards the ceiling, pulling our fingers as far up as they can, opening the sides of our ribs, feeling our feet strong and supportive. And let's bring our hands together, and on our own exhale, let's exhale our thumbs to our heart centers. as we continue to relax our face and our shoulders and our knees. I invite us to honestly feel ourselves. Do we feel more connected with ourselves than before we came to our mats? Let's start our sun salutation. So let's make our way to the top of our mats. And before we start, let's re-ground our feet here, just feeling our feet. Again, slowing our minds down, letting our fears go, and just feeling our body by staying in the present moment, right here and right now. Let's bring our hands together and our thumbs to our heart centers. And let's reach our hands up towards our ceilings. We're going to arch our backs back to wherever feels comfortable for us. And we open our heart centers into waterfall. And let's reach our hands back up. Let's gently swan dive down to our mats by hinging at our hips into a forward fold. Let's step back with our right foot. We can bring our right knee down if that feels comfortable. We stay in a lunge. And let's reach out with our right hand and up and over as we open our heart centers and we continue to breathe long, softening our bodies on our exhales. We'll bring our hands to our mats. We'll step back with our left foot, either bringing our knees down as we hold and plank, or else keeping our hips up. And we breathe long. Let's lower ourselves into crocodile. And we'll straighten our arms, pulling our heads up in upward dog. Let's pull our hips into downward dog, feeling and noticing our feet, pulling our heels down to our mats and inhaling deep. Exhaling by softening and letting go.
I'm Andy, and I started Harris, a shaving company that's fixing shaving. Here's why some of our customers choose Harris. Blades are about $2 each. Get a nice clean shave.
And we'll step forward with our right foot. Feeling this lunge on this side. Dropping our knee if we need to. Reaching out with our left hand and up and over.
Just go to harrys.com and check out. That's harrys.com, both and
Let's bring our hands to our mat. We're going to step forward with our left foot into a forward fold, releasing our head and just feeling this posture, noticing our body, noticing our breath. And let's straighten up by standing tall, using our strong legs to push ourselves up. We're going to reach our hands up over our heads. And when it feels right for us, we arch our backs back into waterfall. And let's reach our hands back up. Let's bring our hands together. And on our own exhale, we bring our thumbs to our heart centers. And I invite us to feel and notice our feet again. Let's reground them by spreading our toes. Let's pull our heads up towards our ceilings, pulling our tailbone down, and just feeling our spine from the top of our neck all the way to our tailbones. Let's soften our face, soften our shoulders, soften our knees. And let's start our sun salutation on our left side. So we reach our hands up, we arch back into waterfall. And let's reach our hands back up. Let's softly swan dive down to our mats in a forward fold. And we'll step back with our left foot, reaching out with our left hand. We ground our right, either on our leg or on our mats. Let's bring our hands to our mat, stepping back with our right foot, holding in plank. And let's lower to crocodile. Straightening our arms, reaching our heads up into upward dog. Let's pull our hips to downward dog. And we'll step forward with our left foot, reaching out with our right hand. And up and over. And let's bring our hands to our mat, stepping forward with our right foot, releasing in forward fold. let's slowly round our spine up, stacking our vertebrae, just feeling and noticing our vertebrae. Continuing to breathe long and strong. And as we stand tall, let's reach our hands up above us by feeling the air around our hands. And we're going to arch back into waterfall. Let's reach back up, straighten our spine, reaching our hands together, and just feeling our feet before we exhale our thumbs to our heart centers. We're gonna come into side triangle. So let's bring our right foot so our toes are pointed to the top of our mat. We're gonna keep our right leg straight. We're gonna slide our right hand down our right leg, reaching up with our left into triangle. Feeling our feet, breathing long and strong pranayama breaths. Feeling that stillness inside of our bodies when we move from one posture to posture. And as we find our breath, we just feel this stillness. Let's bring our hands to our mat as we reach our left foot back behind us still as we come into balancing half moon, so we can keep our toes on our mats if we want, or else we reach our left foot back behind us, holding strong, reaching our left hand up towards the ceiling. And softening our bodies on our exhales. We're going to bring our left foot back and ground it behind us, having our toes pointed in the same direction. And let's reach our fingers up towards our ceilings, pulling them, pulling our hips down towards our mats. And just continuing to breathe deep, finding the stillness in this posture. And let's pivot our back foot. We're going to reach our hands away from each other. And let's straighten our right leg. We're going to step our left foot about a foot behind our right. And let's hinge at our hips, bringing our weight onto our left foot and just releasing our head down. Let's bring our weight back onto our right foot. We're going to step our left foot forward next to our right foot. Then we're going to step back with our right foot, straightening our left leg, bringing our left hand onto our left leg, or else all the way down to our mat. We're going to reach our right arm up towards our ceilings in triangle. And let's bring our hands back to our mats as we bring our weight up onto our left foot, straightening our left leg, coming up into balancing half moon, and reaching our right foot back behind us, or else keeping our toes down on our mats. And we'll bring our right foot back to our mats, coming into a lunge by having our toes pointing the same direction, feeling our feet, opening our heart center, reaching our hands up towards our ceilings, and inviting positive energy to all of our cells. Exhaling by releasing and allowing ourselves to just relieve ourselves of stress. And we'll pivot our back toes, reaching our hands away, and we're going to breathe through this. We discipline our minds to breathe through this, to stay in the present moment as best they can. And we'll straighten our left leg. We're going to step our right foot back behind our left, feeling our feet, and then hinging at our hips, bringing our weight onto our right foot, allowing our left heel to ground. And we're going to just feel and notice the back of our legs. let's re-ground our left foot. We're going to drop our right knee down to our mats. We're going to straighten our left foot and just continue to hinge at our hip on our left side. Feeling that pull, that strength in the back of our left foot, back of our left leg. We're going to bring our left foot over to the right side of our mat, coming down into pigeon. As we bring our left knee down, we extend our right leg back behind us. If our hips are really tight, we can modify by keeping our hands on our mats, holding our hips off. If we can, we allow our left hip to just drop towards our mat, opening our heart centers and breathing here. Ground our hands and bring our left knee to our mats. We're going to ground it. Feel our knees. Then we'll reach our right foot up towards the top of our mat, straightening our right leg and hinging here, allowing our heads to just fall where it wants to go. And we just continue to breathe deep. Let's bring our right foot so our knee is going to bend. Our right foot's going to come to the left side of our mat. We're going to bring our right knee down and come into pigeon. We allow our left leg to just straighten behind us. We can either hold ourselves up with our hands if that feels right. We allow our right hip to come down to our mats. We're going to start to bend our left leg by pulling it out to the side, grounding our hips. And let's bring our feet together in butterfly as we continue to breathe deep and just feel and notice our bodies. Let's allow our heads to fall towards our feet. We allow our knees to just soften to the sides. And let's slowly straighten our spines. We're going to bring our left knee down to our mats, bringing our left ankle, our left calf. And then we're going to reach our right foot up onto our left. With our left hand, we're going to bring it to our right knee or the right part of our mat. It doesn't matter. We're going to do a spinal twist, feeling and noticing our bodies and breathing deep. When we notice that our breath is short and our mind has wandered, we just bring it back to long and slow breaths, feeling and noticing our bodies. We'll come back to the center and we'll just switch legs. We bring our right leg down to our mats. We bring our left leg up onto our right. And we just turn to the left side, feeling and noticing our breath and noticing our body. And let's come back to the middle. And we'll just bring ourselves to grounding our hips. Our feet are gonna come out, and we're just gonna allow our bodies to lay back onto our mats. We're gonna reach our feet up to our ceilings, up, legs up the wall. And just feel the pull from our heels, allowing our belly buttons to rise and fall. If we can lift our hips off of our mats by placing our hands in the small of our backs. When we notice our breath short, let's just lengthen it again. And let's just slowly lower our bodies, our legs back to our mats. And let's walk so we're going to have our knees bent. And let's walk our feet to the side edges of our mat. And we're going to allow our knees to fall to each other and just fall where they want to go. So we stretch the outside of our hips. And we just feel and notice our breath. And when it feels right for us, let's come into a position in a meditative place. So we just allow our body to get comfortable. Maybe our legs are straight out from us. Maybe we continue to hold our knees up towards the ceiling. It's whatever feels right for us, that our body can just relax. And we can feel our breath. We can relax our face. Doing your best is taking the action because you love it, not because you're expecting a reward. Most people do exactly the opposite. They only take action when they expect a reward and don't enjoy the action. That is why they don't do their best. The third affliction is desire. Afraid in a fearful world, we very much want certain things to happen, and we very much want certain other things not to happen. Our experience of life is like that of a trapeze artist, but instead of rings, we swing from one intense attachment to the next. We begin asana practice with an eye to the results. We've heard that stretching is good for the back or helps with stretch and stress. So we go to yoga. We get a little something we feel we are lacking. This consumer attitude serves the purpose of getting us to the mat in the first place, but it must be abandoned if we are going to stay there. This is especially so because the first year of asana practice often produces spectacular results. Years of emotional pain start to vanish. Disease reverse themselves. Body image problems fade. And a whole new world is presented to us. Why not hope for more of the same? Because it is in this hoping that we lose sight of the true beauty we have discovered in our own bodies. Asana practice is an immersion into the now. The work we do on the mat teaches us to commit wholeheartedly to the present moment. We act in the moment with all our hearts because we are learning that it is all there is. We are finding that the only result worth achieving is to be here and now. All other positive outcomes are byproducts of our present moment awareness. To be attached to the results, to have a thought of my bum being tighter, or to hold in a better triangle pose, is to place the cart before the horse and to miss the point. Eventually, we find this striving unrewarding, and then we will put our mats on the shelf to collect dust, alongside all the other devices we've used in hopes of achieving specific results. The alternative, doing your best as an expression of your love for life, is the path that leads to a long and fulfilling asana practice. I invite us to gently roll to our right sides, just feeling and noticing our right side, continuing to be aware of our breath. And I invite us to slowly push ourselves up to a position where we're sitting. I invite us to chant the mantra OM or Sing it loud into our rooms. Let our hearts sing out if that feels right. If it doesn't feel right, we can just say it mentally. And let's say it 3 times. I invite us to repeat after me. I am peace. I am love. I am light. Let's bring our hands together, placing our thumbs on our heart centers as we honor ourselves, each other, and our practice. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Namaste.
Namaste.